This morning in the US Federal Courthouse, Judge Snow will be delivering a determination on the issue of a special monitor for the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office led by Mr. Joseph Arpaio. The US Federal Court, Judge Snow will be making a determination on the need in defense of the civil rights of the non-white, non-European constituencies in Maricopa County to be protected from the very own legal officers of the Sheriff's Office, to be protected from the state police officials in the county Sheriff's Office in defense of the civil rights and human rights that we possess as inherent. Today, in the Judge Snow's federal court, the issue of the federal monitor will be determined deciding today. Today, there is a missile being directed towards Syria. Today, there is a lethal gas, chemical warfare attack that has taken place. It didn't begin in Syria. It began in World War II in the fields of Flanders in Europe, and was declared illegal to use chemical warfare. And yet, the U.S. government provided the intelligence information to Saddam Hussein when he used chemical warfare against Iran. 100,000 people died at that time. The U.S. government complicit in providing the intelligence for the chemical warfare attack against Iranians only a decade ago. Use of chemical weapons in the Middle East is to be condemned. It must be stopped. It must be stopped at the point of manufacture. These chemicals were originated in France, in Germany, in Holland, or sold for profit. And those profits were put in the banks that are the same banks that are profiteering from the incarceration of our friends, relatives, family members that are being rounded up and raised by Sheriff Arpaio here in Maricopa County. The same financial interests that drive profit flow and are the complicit parties to the chemical warfare attack in Syria are the same financial interests that are benefiting from corporate corporations of America, Corrections Corporations of America, and their associates in the Wells Fargo, their associates in the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. These are business associates. One guy collects the bodies, the other guy collects the tab. And there's a payoff. From Syria to Maricopa, it's the same process of exploitation. It's the same process of expropriation of natural resources, except that in the case of this area, this economy here, we're not talking about petroleum. We're talking about labor. The exploitation and the expropriation of labor systematically since 1848 and the imposition by force, just as it was done in Israel and Palestine. 1848, 1968, Palestine, 1848, this border, 1968, that border, but it's the same process. And it's the same demand that we march for today. The demand is the march for justice, the call for justice, self-determination, dignity, and respect. We demand the right to work with dignity. The right to work is an inherent human right. Article 23 of the United Nations Universal Declaration on the Rights of all people. The issue is not the right to work. The issue is the criminalization of our community by the schema of legal employment that has made us into an ethnic cleansing scenario, and the agencies of the police and the county sheriff's office as part of the pogrom, systematic exploitation, expropriation, and genocide. Today, Judge Snow will look at the issue of racial profiling in Maricopa County. We will not hear Judge Snow address the issue of genocide. We will not hear Judge Snow address the issue of racial discrimination against indigenous peoples in Maricopa County. You will not hear that today. We are absent in the courtroom. And if we are absent in the courtroom, can we expect justice on the streets? Today we raise our voice, we march for justice and dignity, demanding the right to work with dignity as indigenous peoples, as families and workers of indigenous peoples. And we say no acts of warfare against our brothers and sisters in Syria. We say no more acts of warfare also against us here in Maricopa County as part of the indigenous peoples of the continent, of the territory, of the region, of the county. No more racial profiling against indigenous Mexican workers and our families in Maricopa County. This is our demand today.